Jobs. It's about jobs. I've been traveling around this district for 16 months now. I've put over 35,000 miles on my truck, driving through these 16 counties and listening to what the people's concerns are. And it's jobs with better paychecks. Yeah, we have a low unemployment rate right now, but people just aren't getting paid enough. They still have to work 2 jobs and 3 jobs to put groceries in the refrigerator and pay the rent. And health care, they're like, what is that? Health care? They don't know what health care is. So I believe that we move away from an employer-based health care system to a universal, single-payer, Medicare for all health care system. Healthcare, education, the environment, and infrastructure. As Art mentioned, broadband internet is the key to the future of economic development. We need to have access, affordable access to broadband internet to every household that has electricity. Every household, in every nook and cranny, every holler in western North Carolina. Now, you all probably have a pretty high percentage of access to broadband internet here, but when you go west of Asheville, and I get into a room of 100 people and ask how many people have access to broadband internet, maybe a quarter of the room raises their hand. That's not acceptable. You know, the environment, which is so important to us, the reason our number one industry in western North Carolina is tourism. Why? Because of our environment. Our beautiful mountains, our clean water, our clean air, the views we have. And a lot of folks have rental properties. They have cabins on the side of the mountain, and people call and say, you know, I want to rent your cabin for the week. Do you have broadband? Do you have Wi-Fi? If you don't have Wi-Fi, you're not going to rent your place out. That's tourism. That's part of our number one industry. Now I want to tell you something. People have asked me, they've told me, you know, Phillip, I like what you have to say. I'm behind you. I'd like to see you smile more. I'd like to hear you tell a joke every now and then. I want to tell you something. It's not funny. This is not funny to me. It's not funny that we live in the wealthiest nation in the world, and we still go to the convenience store, and there's a pickle jar with a little girl's face on it, and their parents are asking us to put our quarters and our change in there to pay for her liver transplant. There's nothing funny about that to me. It pisses me off. And we can afford to take care of that little girl's liver transplant. All of us together can. It's not funny to me that the kids that get out of college have a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 debt for their student loans, and they're upside down, and they can't afford to qualify for buying a car, much less a home, and they don't want to have children. You know what that does to our economy? It sticks it in the mud. Nobody's moving forward because we've stuck them with this huge burden of college debt. And the Republicans just passed a tax bill that not only gave hundreds of billions of dollars to the wealthiest few and the top corporations, that you know what one of the things in that bill said? It took away the right for people with student loans to write off the interest of their student loans. How is that being progressive? How is that a job creator? It is not. It's not funny.
Don't mean to interrupt you. I wasn't clear about the ruling on that, so that's my fault. But let's open it up for questions for Phillip Wright.
Questions?
Phil, what
Yes,
was
sir.
your fourth point?
My fourth point is infrastructure. And that's getting broadband internet. I believe that with a federal infrastructure package, we could get broadband internet to all households. It's an investment. We get broadband, and like people like me who operate a business from my home, I'm able to hire people because I run a business. You get broadband internet to everywhere out in the nooks and crannies. And then you have opportunities. You have economic opportunity, and your children and your grandchildren don't have to leave this area to go to a bigger city like Charlotte or Raleigh or Atlanta or someplace like that has all the infrastructure that we need. If we provide the infrastructure and the opportunities for them, Our kids will stay here, and we won't be losing, the population won't be dwindling as it is. It will actually grow. We'll be able to invite people in here. Yes, sir.
Why could communities like Chattanooga, through the TVA, wire their power grid with fiber optic cable and provide TV and high-speed internet service? How could they do that, and why can't we? What difficulties do they have in being able to do that in Chattanooga? Why can't Duke do that and wire our power grid, make it intelligent, and make our communities more intelligent?
That's an excellent question. Why can't they? They can. They just choose not to, I guess.
Comcast keeps doing what you do to keep Comcast in their place and let our communities grow like companies. Morganton created their own cable company because the big people wouldn't come here. Now the legislature prevents that from happening. What can you do?
We can change the legislation.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, in Cullowhee, in Jackson County, Western Carolina University actually makes their own power on the Tuckasegee River. And they are now in the middle of a project where they're going to provide for everywhere their electrical lines go, they're going to run a broadband internet cable. Now that's a nice move forward, but it's still just a small pocket that's only going to benefit that area right around Cullowhee. But we could do that everywhere. It's a good example of what we could do everywhere. Any other questions?
Other questions?
Yes, sir.
So you make a good point about the tax code. You're saying how you can't write the interest off on the student debt. Well, now your home-based business you can't write off any of that space.
Right.
That's gone.
Makes no sense.
So what's the party's plan? Is there how is this going to be correct? Because it seems like that a lot of the taxes now, it's really hurting the little guy. And I mean, the home-based business owner is the largest in the country as far as producing jobs.
Yep, the backbone.
It is.
Yep, we're going to repeal and replace that tax code. That's what we're going to do. Instead of giving hundreds of billions of dollars to the top wealthiest and having our money work for the few, we're going to put our money to work for us for once. Inject it into the middle class and the working class. And provide health care for everyone. Provide that college education. Provide the investments in renewable energy jobs here right in Western North Carolina. And get that infrastructure for broadband internet. Let's invest that money in us. They don't need it. They've got more money than they've ever had.
Do we have time for one more question? I think there was someone here.
What is your position on converting Medicare to a voucher system?
I don't like that idea.
Can you repeat what you said?
What's my position on converting Medicare to a voucher system? My idea is the opposite. I support House Resolution 676, which is an expanded and improved Medicare for all. How many of you in here have Medicare, or on Medicare? How many of you aren't happy with it? 2? Medicare works. We can improve it and expand it and provide it to everyone. And right now, we have over $3 trillion a year the American people collectively spend on health care. Over $3 trillion a year. $1.2 trillion of that goes to pay for Medicare, folks over 65, the low-income people with Medicaid, and the VA. The other $2 trillion of that goes to private for-profit insurance companies. Over $2 trillion. Studies show that we could expand Medicare and cover everyone in the United States for $2 trillion or less. That's leaving $1 trillion on the table, people. And we could negotiate pharmaceutical costs as well, and we do that.
All right, thank you very much, Phillip.
So, yes, ma'am.
That's not a plan. I work for Phillip Price here. I'm a volunteer. I need people to help me do my job to help Phillip. He's going around driving to all these counties, and we need people to do canvassing. We need people to do phone banking. I need your names, I need your emails, and I need your
Thank you, Paula. I was going to introduce you, and I want to wrap it up with, I need your vote. I'm asking you for your vote. But I need you to get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 more people who don't normally vote in the midterms and get them to the polls. That's how we're going to win this thing. But I also need your donations. I hate asking for money, but this is a very expensive race that I'm running. I'm not getting money from the National Democratic Party. I'm not getting money from the state party. And with your donations and the donations that we've been collecting for the last 14 months, we've raised over $100,000. And we've got a really good commercial that we're getting ready to start running, and it costs a lot of money. So I need your help so we can run that commercial and we can get the message out to more and more people and raise